Okay, good morning, everybody. Oh my gosh, I only have 15 minutes left. That means I have to delete so much stuff in order to even save this video, but we're going to figure it out. About to get on the scale, day after show. 131.4. All right, I literally just put on a sweatshirt and came to the store because we're out of eggs. So I'm coming to get eggs and another Pour Power because, listen, just because I'm not selling prep does not mean I'm just abandoning everything, right? Like, I'm still making my little protein coffees for breakfast. I'm still eating egg whites for breakfast. I might throw in a whole egg, like here and there, but especially in this first week, you can't do everything all at once, you guys, or you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it. So I'm having egg whites for breakfast with my protein latte like I always do. I will probably have another bite of that apple fritter bread that Bambi made me, but I'm not doing another cinnamon roll today because I might be going to eat with Tiffany, so I'm not like, again, you don't need to do it all at once. All right, it's like several days later, but I never close out my show day vlog, so that's what I'm doing right now, even though I'm really like on to the next vlog at this point. It's been several days. I'm living my life. I'm off my diet. Yes, would you look at God? $1.99 a pound? First off, my camera is still foggy, but that has been $2.69 a pound in recent months. So I might be out of prep, but I'm stocking up. All right, welcome back to the vlog, y'all. And she ain't in prep for real. Unless Jake Wood emails me and says, you know what? We want to send you to the Olympia. Which he's not going to. We're out of prep. Prep is over, everybody. And you know what? I'm not reversing. I'm going to keep it true. So, I know myself. And I'm not reversing. Like, period. It is what it is. I know that everyone's going to be like, oh, you got to make the most out of these weeks. You don't want to gain all this weight. And you know what? I said that for a hot second. But then I'm like, you know what? First off, I don't even know if/when I'm getting back on stage. So, I hate to say this, but I don't really care that much, you guys. I just want to eat my way through the foods I want to eat. And of course, I'm going to be reasonable. I'm not just like going completely ham. Oops. But I'm not on a diet right now. I'm not counting macros right now. I'm drinking my water. And I'm eating what I want to eat. Now, bear in mind, a lot of things that I want to eat are just going to be meal prep food. I'm prepping for Ruben. I have taken control of Ruben's prep because he's out of control. He's 3 weeks out from the Olympia and he's losing his mind. So I said, you know what? Send me your meal plan. Like, you're done. I'm in charge of this now. So I'm prepping all of Ruben's foods for him. Like, we normally kind of share our meal prep. Like, we're running out of chicken and he's like, hey, I made chicken. Or I'm like, hey, I made chicken. Or like, we don't really neither of us really meal prep individual meals. I started doing it during this prep because he had gotten that guy to prep his meals, and I was like, you know what, this is actually quite nice. But it's just been very sloppy, and so now I'm like, I don't really care what I eat at this point. So I'm gonna prep your meals, and there's like usually a lot of leftover because I'm not measuring. I'm not like, okay, he needs this many ounces of this, so I'm gonna buy this many ounces of this. Like, we're not doing that. I'm just buying a bunch of chicken, buying a bunch of ground beef, whatever. So like last night I made his ground beef meals, and with the leftover, which was like 3.5 ounces of ground beef, I'm like, great, with the leftover rice and ground beef that I just made for you, I'm gonna turn it into a meal for me. So that's probably what I'm gonna eat today, midday. So anyway, I'm just gonna eat what makes me happy. On most days, that's gonna be normal food. Like, I like egg whites for breakfast. I'll probably start throwing whole eggs back in there at some point, but I like egg whites for breakfast. I don't like separating them, which is the main reason I'll probably go back to adding whole eggs. But, I'll have that. If I have a meal prepped, I'll eat that for lunch. Or I'll start going, like, adding, like the chicken nuggets, the Bear chicken nuggets and chicken strips that we have for Reagan. Like, I'll probably eat those sometimes. I'll go back to eating salad bags. I just bought a salad bag just now. I will go back to eating salmon often. But I'll also, like I did this morning, say, you know what? I want carne asada fries. So that's what I did. And I'm making taco soup for dinner. It's the first day of fall yesterday, So it's soup season, even though it's 80 degrees outside. So anywho, I will do that. I wanted to go lift right now, which is when I normally go lift on Mondays. But I'm like, you know what, Andrea? Just take the day off. I want to lift because I've been eating a lot of food, and I just know a back day would go crazy right now. I know a back day would go crazy right now. However, I need to rest. So instead, I'm gonna make this taco soup for the family. Probably take a nap, hang out, then go pick up Reagan. I am sub training tonight, so after I pick up Reagan, we pretty much just go straight to the gym this afternoon. And then I have that turnaround. I train the afternoon, and then I train all morning long. So I really just don't want to expend a lot of energy today. One of my sub trainers did volunteer to train tonight, and I would take her up on it. But guys, we're moving out. I don't know if when I mentioned that on this vlog, we found out on my show day that we were approved for the apartment, so I don't think that I would have said it on here. We got approved for an apartment. It's right across the street from my parents. So we're moving October 1st, and so now we have bills that we didn't have before because my mom was letting us live here free 99. So all that to say is normally I'd be like, yeah, just take it, I don't really care, but I'm like, I could use an extra shift or two in my life just to make sure. So I'm sub training this afternoon, and then I'm taking, one of my trainers is out of town, so I'm taking her afternoon shift today. I'm taking her mid-morning shift on Friday, and then it's my Saturday. So it's a lot of training this week. Hopefully my voice holds up. But anyway, we're gonna see what this, I don't even know what this series is called. I mean, by the time it's uploaded, it has a name, obviously, but I got to figure out what we're going to call it. What are we going to call it? I don't know. Anyway, like I said, I don't need to think about that on this video camera because it already has a name by the time this is uploaded. All right, good afternoon, everyone. I am headed to pick up Reagan from school. It is hot as hell. It is 96 degrees outside. And I left my sunglasses. The problem is I wear my sunglasses and then I accidentally wear them inside the house. So now I don't have any in the car, I don't think. Anyway, going to pick up Reagan and then pretty much turn around, go back to the gym tonight. I am regretting not letting Kat train this afternoon, even though I already discussed why, because at this point, I have no business turning down hours at work. So anyway, I was talking about earlier, I'm not reversing, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. At some point, I'm going to stop. It's only going to be probably a few more days, I should say, of me just eating mostly nonsense, right? At some point, this is going to wear off, and I'm not going to feel like, oh, I want this, oh, I want this, oh, I want that, oh, I want that. I'm going to feel like, okay, time to get back to real life. And I just think that works better for me. I think that works better for me, so I'm not going to try it any other way, like I said, because I just really don't even have any time that I'm getting back on stage. So I'm not really necessarily trying to prioritize maximizing anything. Surely it can't be amazing for my health, but I mean, it's not like I'm suddenly going to be type 2 diabetic or something. Knock on wood, I guess. Like I said, I'm taking today off. I will work out tomorrow. Tomorrow is a cardio day at boot camp, and Reagan's going to be at Disneyland with my mom and my niece and sister-in-law, so I am going to take a cardio boot camp, and I might finally hit back. I might also lift just because I have the leisure of not having a kid with me tomorrow. I'll probably go back to a normal lifting schedule next week. This week, I think I'm just going to do whatever I feel like doing. I'm going to do cardio at Burn, and I'm going to lift when I feel like lifting. Maybe I'll lift at Burn, maybe not. We're going to see what happens. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to add about it, but I don't think there is. I made taco soup for dinner. So I'm very excited to get back to cooking. I know that's one thing Aurelia is doing right now, is getting into the kitchen. I don't know if it's getting back to cooking or getting to cooking for her. But one thing about me, I love to cook, and I love to cook for other people. So it's fun for me to be able to tell my mom, okay, I made this for dinner tonight, especially because my mom is back to work now. She took off a long time. I mean, I think she's been out of work for for a year because she was taking care of my dad. And then obviously after my dad died, like she's been off since then. So she's back to work. So it's just nice to be able to, one, for me, I like cooking, but then two, just to be able to take that off of her plate because she doesn't like cooking. So anywho, all that to say, cook dinner for the family tonight. And I'm looking forward to doing that a few more times. Now, we are moving. I don't know if I said that on here. Maybe I said it in literally the last video that I recorded. We're moving out to the apartments across the street. But I still plan to do some cooking for my family as often as I can. You know, if I know my mom's at work, or if I have the time off, or I made something for us, and for us, you know, when Ruben's off of prep, even if I cook something for us, like a lot of these recipes, they're made for a whole family, and it's just like me, Ruben, and Reagan. So I might send some over to my mom's, or I don't know, anywho. But I'm just here to pick up Reagan early, of course, so I will chat with you guys soon. Okay, my thing just stops record. I don't know why it does that, literally. I thought it was because I like motion sense it to turn it off, but no, it just decides it's off. So someone, I don't know if she like wants to be named. I mean, it's not a big deal. So Jennifer Bishop, she is an old fitness pro. Like when I say old, I just mean like she used to compete like a decade ago. Jennifer Bishop, she's like one of like, as far as like how long I've been involved in fitness, she's like one of the OGs. She was like competing when I first started like looking into fitness. So anyway, she's been messaging me. She's like, you know, she was one of the people that messaged me that was like, keep going, like you are so close, whatever. So anyway, she messaged me and she was like, you know, she said we, I don't know who we is, I didn't ask. She's like, we sent an email seeing if we could get points back for fitness. And she's like, basically saying it's a different beast than the other divisions. It needs to be treated as such, because we don't have that many shows to qualify, right? I think we had, I can't remember, it was 9 or 10, and then they added this show, and that doesn't include the Arnolds. Like I never considered the Arnolds like a qualifying show, just because first off, it's invite only. Like I just don't count it. So anyway, we don't have that many opportunities. And so they gave Titans a special waiver to be a 2024 qualifier so that they could get more athletes qualified. And then the classic winner and the fitness winner were both already qualified. So I know that as of now recording this, I know that the classic guy got it switched. Like he sent an email and basically was like, can I qualify for the 2025 Olympia? I'm already qualified for 2024. And this was technically within the calendar year for 2025. So they gave it to him. Taylor said she's going to try the same thing, which would make sense. Again, she's already qualified, which is just interesting because remember when I said, man, if I won, honestly, I would almost rather make this 2025. Anyway, it doesn't matter because I lost. Anywho, someone else met or told me at the show, she's like, I think you should email and try to get a special invite. Like, you have had a killer season, and obviously, like, there's plenty of people who've had a killer season, and she's like, but your division already has so few athletes qualified. She's like, and they made this show, specifically this one show, a 2024 qualifier, and he said this at check-ins, so that we could get more fitness and women's bodybuilding athletes qualified for 2024. So she's like, and then they didn't give out another qualification. So maybe in this instance, they pass it down. She's like, it's not like you just randomly got second, you got 4 seconds in a row. You know, and then in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, and 2 of them were by 1 point, and 2 of my last 6 shows, and I hate to be this person, but it's still it's a statistic. It's not like I'm like bragging or saying that anybody else didn't deserve their qualifications or anything like that. But 2 of those shows, I beat people who ended up qualifying at later shows. Now, granted, those people, when they qualified at later shows, beat me. It's not like I beat them and then they went to a different show that I wasn't at and they won. Like, I beat them and then they beat me and won. So it's not like, oh, I smoked this person every time, that we just didn't go to the same show. Like, I'm just saying in general, I have shown that I can beat and can hang with Olympia qualified athletes. So anyway, so she's like, I think you should just ask. So I emailed them. I didn't ask for a qualification because at this point, your girl has been eating. Like, I don't want to be in prep. You guys, I already said that. Like, I barely even wanted to go to not that I didn't want to go to the Olympia. Obviously I would love to go to the Olympia, but I barely was hanging on, and I kept saying I don't even know if I have an Olympia prep in me. So I don't want a special qualification, especially because I just, like, yes, I do think I would deserve it and I would own it if they gave it to me, but I also know there would be chatter because people are haters. Oh, she got a special. People were like that with Derek Lunsford, and he's a world champion already. Like, and they were mad that he got a special invite for the Open. And I'm like, I don't need it. I don't want to deal with that. So I don't even want a special invite. But I did email and say I do think that you guys should consider Points for Fitness. It's the same as Wheelchair. We only have 4 more shows in them. And I did explain, like, you know, of course this is my situation where if we did have points, I would be easily going to the Olympia. So anyway, the guy was like, oh yeah, well, I'll forward it to whoever needs to know about it. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, like, for me, because I am not going to the Olympia, and I don't even know when I'm competing next. I know I said, like, oh, if I don't go to the Olympia, I'm retiring, and I still I still feel like that is not something I'm against. Now, what's this Sharpie on my hand? I will say, I have a new suit being made, and I already have a new mix for a routine. These are things that I was planning to use at the Olympia if I qualified, and now I feel like, especially because I get my suits for free, like, I kind of feel like I have to compete at least one more time. Doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be right now. There's no time limit, but I don't want to be like, oh, thanks for my suit. Oh yeah, I'm not competing for 4 more years because I decided I want to take some time off and go have a baby, and then, like, I'm not. Now, granted, obviously, if that stuff happens, that stuff happens. Not like Sean's gonna be like, I don't want to sponsor you anymore. I mean, Devin just took over a year off, which none of you guys know who these people are. Anywho, I'm for sure I'm not applying for the Arnold. I'll tell you that. Your girl will not be competing in March. I think that they would let me, think they would invite me, but no thank you. So if I compete next year, I don't know. I can't think about that right now, so don't ask me, actually. Even though nobody asked me, I just volunteered this information. So I don't see competition in my near future. Because 1, I'm just tired of dieting, but 2, like, when I compete, so this is something that Kristen Pope said after her last season. She's like, when I get back on stage, I'm not going to use the language that she used, but she basically said, when I get back on stage, you know what people like to say, though, I'm going to be undeniable. She didn't use the word undeniable, but that's what people say. I want to be undeniable the next time I step on stage. Now, everybody says that. Some people are, some people aren't. But what I know about myself and, like, what I've experienced is that I have got to improve my back shot if I want to be someone who is consistently winning. Or, like, you know, someone who's not only winning if I get lucky in a lineup, right? Like, oh, she is a really good, like, I feel like that's what I was. Like, I mean, Muscle Insider, even though they never even put me in their top 3, but they proved it. And I think we all knew. When I went to Van, we knew Tam was the favorite. When I went to Arizona, we knew Stephanie was the favorite. When I came to Grand Prix, we knew Taylor was the favorite. It's like, yes, I can get close, and on paper, there's a chance I can win, but ultimately, I'm never the favorite. And until I improve my back shot, I'm not going to be the favorite. Becky did comment on my routine video, and she's like, one of the best routines on stage today. Like, and that was huge for me, because obviously I know that my routine is good, but it's just good to hear from someone like Becky that basically says, like, this is one of the best routines in fitness right now. My conditioning came in the right way, so I know that I can bring the conditioning. I mean, I can always do a little bit more, a lot more actually, but the back shot has to improve. I mean, the front shot also has to improve, but like, I'm not losing because of my front shot. I'm losing because of my back shot. Like, I'm literally, now I have experienced 2 very specific shows where I was in one rank and then they turned us to the back and they moved me down. It happened, I told you already, at Legion last year. I lost to Trishanti because of my back shot. I lost to Taylor, in my opinion, because of my back shot. So, I have to improve that. So I'm not getting on stage until I'm positive that that has been improved. So anyway, I've been talking this entire drive. So I'm going to go sit in silence before I have to train. Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday. No clue what date it is. It'll be on there somewhere, the 26th or something like that. Headed to work. Let's see. So yesterday I was 140 because I've been eating so much food. And I have not been clearing it out. Let me tell you, my digestive system is completely overwhelmed. It's like the American healthcare system during COVID. It was not prepared. It was not prepared. Okay. So I just haven't been moving through this much food in a long time. For the better part of this year, my digestive system has not been moving through this much food. So anyway, all that to say, I basically had diarrhea yesterday, and I got through some of it, but definitely not all of it. So I was 138 this morning. I also didn't eat like a complete asshole yesterday. Like, I definitely went to Crumble, and I had 2 half-C cookies. I had 3 cookies yesterday, y'all. 3 very large cookies. But like, you know, I ate a lot of watermelon. I ate chicken and vegetables. Like, I ate eggs for breakfast. Like, I have a pretty normal diet, but I just am also eating a lot of other stuff. My body's not ready, okay? So anyway, 138 this morning. I still have a lot of food to move through. I think that maybe, so we have our Marietta Valley High School cheer reunion tomorrow. So we have like a lunch at a winery, so I'm definitely not going to be doing it tomorrow, but maybe sometime over the weekend or something, I'm going to drop back for a couple days back to like my body build, like my prep calories and easily digestible foods, just so that my digestive system can catch up. And then after that, I got to cut the shit and I got to get to, I guess I'm going to reverse. Remember when I was like, I'm not reversing, I'm just going to live my life. At that point now, mentally, I will be ready to not just eat everything I feel like eating. So I think I'm going to pull my calories all the way down again, not necessarily even for the calories, but just for the quantity of food. Like, I got to get through this. Honestly, I should just fast. Because my hunger, the hunger does not exist in my life right now, because as soon as I want something to eat, I eat it. Like, there is no like, okay, well, I'm a little hungry right now, but let's wait. You know, in bodybuilding, like, hunger is a constant state of your life. Right now, I have not been hungry. I haven't been hungry in 4 days. I'm not even waking up hungry because I'm still full from the night before. So anyway, I think honestly, I really just need to fast. I'm not going to. Anywho, 1:38 this morning. I really started my period. I thought that I started my period the other day, but I didn't. I started my period today. So that's another layer of this. Y'all, do you understand how crazy it is to be done with your bodybuilding season in the thick of PMSing? No wonder I couldn't control myself. Like, no wonder I could not control myself. PMS plus diet's over. Oh my gosh, I was out of control. But she's back now. She's back. I worked out yesterday, did push-pull at Burn Boot Camp. I may lift today. I feel good. I feel energetic. It's just Thursdays are a very long training day. So I'm like, do I really want to go to the gym during my break? Obviously, y'all know during prep, I was like, absolutely not. I need to go take a nap before I go get Reagan. But like, I got plenty of sleep. I have plenty of energy. I have plenty of calories. So maybe after I train, I will go to Powerhouse and do shoulders or back or something. I did do push-pull yesterday, but it was mostly push. It was not a lot of pull. Go to Powerhouse, do something, maybe just do a little full body, something that I feel good about, and then, carry on with the rest of my day. I have not done cardio since, I don't know, before the show. Maybe get some steps in. That might help move this digestion along. Anyway, that's just where we are. I am starting to, I had already started to think about my new routine, thinking I was going to make the Olympia. But obviously I'm not doing the Olympia. However, I'm applying for the Arnold, which I think that I said on here. I think I said my whole plan about like trying to do the Arnold and then take like as much time as I need off, at least a year. LOL, I'm editing this right now and I realized I said I'm absolutely not doing the Arnold, but I told my friends that I was going to apply for the Arnold. So that's where we are. If I didn't, that's the plan. Apply for the Arnold. Feel like I have a pretty good chance of making it. Do the Arnold for the experience, check it off the bucket list. And then take off as much time as I need to. So anyway, all that to say, now that I'm not doing the Olympia and I'm potentially doing the Arnold, which is a lot further out, there's some routine stuff that's a little bit more challenging that now I have time to work on. So I'm starting to think of like, okay, what is realistic for you to put into a new routine? What are the ways you're going to challenge yourself? What are the things you're going to keep in? I have new music. I did download Little T's app again. I downloaded it a few years ago and I used it to work on some handstand stuff. And then I just stopped working on it because my life, my life at the time was just like in shambles and I really couldn't do anything extra. So now I'm like, okay, we are going to do this. She has all these different programs. I'm going to do her handstand program. I'm going to do her calisthenics program. And I'm going to do her mobility program. They're all like 10-minute workouts, like twice a week. It's not like I'm going to do this whole training program. Like I'm still going to do my training program from Ruben, but these are things you can do. My God, yes, I have to go to the actual doctor for this because they can't diagnose this over the phone. They're like, we need to listen to your lungs. So I'm still doing my training program from Ruben, but these are things that you can do just like 10 minutes after your workout or on your day off. So I'm hoping that will really, really improve my, my strength skills because obviously I have the power, but I need to improve the strength skills. And I don't think that my flexibility is poor, but it's not a strength of mine, right? Like you look at Anya's routine and you're like, oh, like she's flexing her flexibility. I don't have a lot of flexibility. And I think honestly, just more flexibility just makes your life better. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to finish my coffee and read all these text messages that I got. And I will check in with you later. Okay. So I'm just getting ready to go to work. Just like finishing cutting up some strawberries, but I did want to get this taste test on YouTube. The Rock and Rainbow, remember the other 7-Eleven one was disgusting? Well, that day I bought 2. Yeah, baby. That day I bought 2. So this is the second one because the only other cold energy drink I have right now is a C4. Reagan, okay, I'll get you water. Is a C4 and I don't need beta alanine to go train. So it's probably going to be nasty. What are you talking about? Anyway, we're going to see what Rock and Rainbow tastes like. Oh, that's a lot better than the other one was. What does that taste like? That tastes like the cotton candy. This tastes like Bang cotton candy. Let's go. Okay, Fusion. Remember, that first one was disgusting. I stopped drinking it immediately. I dumped out the whole thing. That literally tastes like the cotton candy Bang. And I am here for it. Okay, I'm glad I did that on YouTube. Anyway, I'm gonna go train. Okay, so obviously I was just at home taste testing this. Very happy with this, which is just crazy because the other one was terrible. And it was one of my safe flavors. I feel like cherry and grape for me pretty much never miss. Now I do understand that cherry and grape are medicine flavors, so I guess they do miss sometimes because they taste like medicine, but usually those are flavors that I'm a fan of, so whatever. Anyway, this one's good. Let's see. Okay, so I've decided that I'm applying for the Arnold, just because I feel like if I don't do the Arnold now, the chances of me doing the Arnold are very low, because I don't see myself, if I compete in bodybuilding again, I don't see myself doing like what I just did like the last couple years, which is like just running show. So I just don't see that. I just don't see that for myself. And after I just had a pretty successful year, obviously I never won anything, but I still think, you know, when they're looking at Arnold applications, I just think of like everybody who might apply, right? Everybody who might apply, which could, maybe it's going to be all Olympians and I don't get picked. I just feel like there's a good chance that I get picked, especially if I look at last year's list. And like a lot of those people only competed once or twice last year. I competed in this calendar year, like I competed 3 times in this calendar year, but in this like Olympia qualifying season, I competed 5 times. So all that to say, I do think there's a good chance that I'm going to get picked for that. So I am preparing for that. So I have started to think like, okay, what do you want to do in this routine? What are the skills that you feel like you can reasonably achieve well for this routine? First off, the handstand pirouette is going to be much better in 6 months. And then, where are you going, God? And there's a few other skills that I've just been working on a little bit, but I didn't get them good enough to put in a routine that I might, you know, spend more time on. I think I said this morning, like, maybe I deleted that clip. Y'all, I'm all over the place because I don't know which clips I'm deleting and which ones I'm keeping. I downloaded Taylor's app. So I'm going to be doing mobility and calisthenics and handstand drills 3 times a week, or 2 times a week, I think is what I'm going to be doing. So there's some skills that I've kind of started learning, or like kind of started practicing, but I didn't really spend a lot of time on them. But I'm like, if I'm doing skills 2 to 3 times a week where I'm literally just spending this allotted time on learning skills, which I never really did before. I kind of started doing it this year, but not in that amount of time. I just think there's a lot of things that I can do to improve my current routine. Now, it won't be the same exact choreography. Like I said, it's not even the same music, but it's a good place to start. I think there's a lot of things that I can improve to make it an even better routine. So I'm going to work on that. Going to start like figuring out my split. Ruben sent me a split, but I got to chat with him about it because it's like a powerlifting split, which is normally what I do. Normally, I've done it one time. Normally what I do after bodybuilding, but I just want to chat with him and be like, I don't want to do legs twice a week. I can't do legs twice a week. Like, my legs are big enough. I have got to grow my upper body. I can't do legs twice a week. Like, it's not going to happen. Because right now, it's like push. It's not in this order, but it's push, pull, and 2 legs. And realistically, I need push and pull both twice, and then legs once. To be completely honest, the way that these genetics are set up, I bet I could go the entire prep and not hit legs at all directly. Like, maybe do a full body day. You know, and with my plyo stuff that I do at Burn Boot Camp, I bet I could manage to get away with not doing any legs and not lose any dominance in my legs. I'm not going to do that, but I'm just saying I don't need to be doing legs twice, which is what it is right now. So I got to chat with Ruben about that. By the time this video is uploaded, that conversation's already done. So, let's see. That's really it. Arnold applications open on the 1st, which is on Tuesday. That's our moving day. So funny because I told Ruben after the show, I'm like, I don't want to do the Arnold, and I really was saying I didn't want to do the Arnold because of when it was. I was like, I just don't feel like I don't want to go back into prep that soon. But like I said, if this is realistically probably going to be one of my last, maybe one of my only chances to do the Arnold, then I do want to do it now. I'd rather like suck it up and, you know, have to pay a little bit more attention to my food for a little bit longer and then go straight back into a prep than, you know, take 2 years off and then try to come back and be relevant enough to be accepted for the Arnold. Like, not gonna happen. So anyway, okay, I'm gonna finish my energy drink and not sit here in silence because Reagan's iPad is on, but sit here in my own thoughts. All right, it is Friday. Y'all asked me if I sent a check-in today. No, I do not. That's how off season I am. I told y'all I don't miss check-ins. Like I said, I remember talking about, like, it's crazy to me that people are just like, oh, I think I'm just going to send a check-in on this day. Like, I have never once in my life missed a check-in. I literally got in my car this morning. I said, oh, it's Friday. I was supposed to send a check-in. I haven't even unpacked my suit. My heels are still in the car. I don't know what's happening. Okay. So anyway, I just trained all morning. I am now headed to, well, I'm here now. I'm trying to figure out where to park. I'm at a winery. My high school cheer team, we're doing like a high school cheer reunion. So anyone who's been a cheerleader on our high school team, it's homecoming this weekend or tonight. We're having a lunch. And y'all, I am so excited to not be in prep for this. I am so excited to not be in prep for this because I'm going to sit here at this winery eating whatever they give us, eating garlic bread, ordering a Riesling, living my best life. Not in prep. Imagine if I was going to the Olympia. How miserable would this be? I paid $80 for this. Anyway. That's it. That's the whole message. I didn't send a check-in. I'm about to drink some wine. We're going to work on it. First step, getting a back bend or a bridge. Back bend? What is this? Oh, God. I might not be getting a Valdez. Good afternoon, everyone. It is Sunday. I don't even know how long this video is. I don't have a vlog title. This episode is probably just going to be called Random Episode Number 1. I don't know. Because it's been over a week, which obviously y'all know I don't normally vlog that long because I talk too much. But I also haven't even been really, I don't know. Anyway, I just came on here because I wanted to share this moment. I mean, I'm talking about it with my friends. But I do think it's important to share here because y'all have been with me on this journey. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. This is crazy. So I'm watching the Fitness Competitor's Guide, listening to whatever podcast with Anna Adams, Tiffany Chandler. They're both fitness pros. If you're in fitness at all, you know exactly who these people are. And Nicole Black is her last name, but she's a amateur fitness girl, but she coaches a lot of fitness girls too. So, and then Elaine, who runs the Fitness Competitors Guide. So I'm just listening to their podcast. It's just talking about fitness. It's a great conversation. Honestly, I was like listening to it like, man, I would have loved to be in this conversation, but I've already been on one of her podcasts. She didn't need me again. Anyway, it's just some of the stuff that I've been talking about with a couple of other people, just trying to figure out like how to champion fitness and just things, you know, for just information for fitness competitors, like our thoughts on the physiques and the routines and getting feedback from judges and just a bunch of stuff. Anyway, so they are talking about the Olympia and they're like, okay, so let's get into some predictions. And they're not like predicting who's going to win because it's impossible to really do that in fitness. Again, I've talked about this because there's 2 rounds. It's like, well, if this round goes this way and then it's impossible to really predict because as you guys have seen with my predictions, like for instance, I'm like, okay, like we can talk about like Arizona or Vancouver. Well, I mean, even with Titans, it was like, okay, if I get this rank in this round, then I get this rank in this round, I could win. However, that also depends on like if I got second in physique at Titans and I got third in routine. Well, if the first place physique would not have been Taylor and it would have been Anya and the fourth place physique or the fifth place physique was Taylor, I personally got the same rankings, but I would have won that show instead of Taylor. So it's like, it's nearly impossible to actually make accurate predictions because you literally have to know exactly what you have to be able to predict the entire field out. Anyway, all that to say, they're like, no, we just want to talk about like what physiques we're excited to see or which, who we think is going to be in the first call out and what the routines are like. And so Elaine says the list, and this is like truly the first time that I've been sad that I'm not going to the Olympia. Like, I'm just listening to them talk about these girls and just like, oh, this is the type of physique this person brings, and I'm really excited to see this person, and this person brings this, and that person brings that, and they're talking about physiques, and then they start talking about routines, which obviously we know is like my strong suit, and I'm just like, I should be in this conversation. Like, I'm good enough to be in this conversation, and I'm not in this conversation, and it's just really weird because I literally have not been sad about not making this Olympia. Like, I'm not just trying to be strong for you guys or I'm being sincere, you guys. I have not been sad about not making it to the Olympia. Like, yeah, of course you want to win, but I've been past prep, you guys. I've been saying for months, even before Arizona, I was like, I'm not locked in. Remember that episode when I was like, I'm locked in, I'm not locked in, I'm locked in, I'm not locked in. Like, I've been over prep. So realistically, like, I was just like, oh, you know what? It is God's timing. I do not need to be at the Olympia. Even when I was like, man, even if I win this show, I wish I could make it a 2025 qualifier. Like, I was even thinking, even if I win this show, I don't even want to go to this year's Olympia. I wish I could make it next year's Olympia. Like, I sincerely was not sad until listening to this conversation and just feeling like I should be there. I should be in this conversation because I'm listening to them just talk about just whatever. Like, oh, Allison's routine, she always has great transitions. Like, she always does this, she always does that. And I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, oh, and Amber always brings something like this. And this person always brings something like this. And I'm like, they're like, oh, Amber's our dark horse. And I'm thinking, like, if I were on this list, I would be one of these people that they're talking about. This person's routine is going to be one to watch. We've seen her get better. Like, and I'm just like, it just sucks. At least right now. And that was a laugh, not like a hysterical cry just now. It just sucks. Now, I think I'll be over this feeling tomorrow when I have pancakes for breakfast. I had a bagel sandwich for breakfast today. And then I had In-N-Out double protein style, so lettuce wrap double cheeseburger. And then I went to Costco with Reagan and I sampled sausage ravioli. And I had a sliced pizza. I did not, she wanted a cookie, so I bought a cookie, but I didn't have it. Like, I actually do think I've successfully eaten through everything that I like really feel like I have to eat. So I think I'll be able to go back to a normal diet. Remember, I think I said that on Instagram that I was going to do that last week. Well, I didn't. But now I'm really past it. But anyway, all that to say is, like, I really am not, like, at my core, I'm not sad about making it to the Olympia. But just listening to this conversation, it is just a little bit disappointing because I do feel like I was good enough this year to be part of that conversation. It just, the timing and the lineups they just didn't align for me, right? Like, and I hate when people do this because I think they do it to, like, I think they do it really to, like, talk down on the competitors, but I'm going to say it anyway because I'm not doing that. But it's like, I look at this list and I'm like, okay, and I think I actually have talked about this. I'm like, man, like, I beat Steph Jones this year. Man, I beat Michelle Gales this year. Or, like, I don't know. It's just like, I know that I am good enough to be in this conversation. Or, like, again, even with Vancouver, like, the way that the math was working out, if D Cheeks wasn't at that show and all the rest of us did exactly what we did, I would have won because my physique would have been high. Like, it's just, or I should say I could have won because I didn't win the routine round at that show. So, but it's just like, it's just been the luck of the draw that I get in these lineups, and it's not even particularly my performance that impacts or that has the biggest impact on whether I made it or not. So anyway, like I said, I just want to share that because it is a conversation I, having with people in my circle, but you guys have obviously been following me through this entire season, and I think it would, like, do this entire vlog a disservice if I didn't share that feeling with you guys. So anywho, that's it, I guess, for today. And you know what? I don't even know where we are, but that's the end of this vlog. Like, we got to move on, Andrea. We need a new episode. Hopefully the next one has a title. If you have any ideas. So I am applying for the Arnold. I assume, I don't know, I'm probably wrong about this, but I assume that I will get invited to the Arnold. I have not had a ranking outside of the top 4. Realistically, y'all, like, I mean, out of 6 shows in the last year, I've placed second 4 times. Like, I haven't even been out of the top 2. So hopefully that's good enough to get an invite, but it also just depends on who else applies. If the whole Olympia list applies, like, they're gonna be like, well, no, you're Silver Surfer, so we're not bringing you. But I don't know, they invited Anya last year, and I think that her highest ranking at the time was 4th. They invited Nicolette, I think it was her pro debut. They invited Arika, who, again, I think maybe highest ranking was 2nd. Like, so all that to say is that I think I should get invited. So I'm going to prepare like I'm getting invited, although that's the worst. Like, you're going to have to be in prep. They don't release the list until like 6 weeks out. So anyway, just to give you guys some ideas, maybe if you want to think about a title for my vlog. And if I pick your vlog name, I'll send you a free John Cat band. How about that? Okay. If you want it. Otherwise, I'll keep it for myself because I get free John Cat bands. So between now and probably the end of the year is going to be like my reverse season, even though I already told you guys I'm not reversing, but it's just going to be like a maintenance build. Like, let's try to build this back. Let's try to get some skills and let's try to build these shoulders and try to maintain a six pack the whole time. Because my prep's not going to be nearly as long as it was this year, right? From the beginning of my prep to my best look of the year, because it's not the beginning of my prep to my first show. It's the beginning of my prep to the best look of the year. That's how long I count as like how long I need. So from March to September, March, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months. I don't have 6 months. I'm going to have 3 months. I'm going to have half as much time. So anyway, so from now to the end of the year is like my maintenance / growth / recomp. And then in January will be like, okay, prep. It's prep, for the Arnold. And then after the Arnold, like we're pulling the plug, you guys, maybe. You know what it is. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. This video is probably 2 hours long. Hopefully I cut some stuff out and it's still enjoyable. Otherwise, catch me on the next one. I'll try again.